Ladies and gentlemen, your value is not determined by how others treat you. It's determined by how you see yourself. This is a truth that too many people overlook in their pursuit of validation. We live in a world where external approval is often mistaken for self-worth. We'll seek affirmation, friends, family, co-workers, and even strangers on social media, thinking that the more attention they receive, the more valuable they are. But let me tell you something. Your worth does not come from the applause of others. It comes from within. Imagine a diamond buried underground. It is still precious, still rare, still valuable, even if no one has found it yet. Its worth does not depend on someone picking it up, polishing it, or putting a price tag on it. It simply is valuable by nature. You are that diamond. Whether others recognize it or not does not change what you are made of. The problem arises when you allow people who do not understand your worth to dictate how you see yourself. The biggest mistake you can make in life is allowing someone else's opinion to become your reality. If you surround yourself with people who do not value you, you may start believing that you are not valuable. If you continuously tolerate disrespect, you may start thinking that you deserve it. But the truth is, people treat you based on a standard that you set for yourself. If you demand respect, if you hold yourself with dignity, if you know what you bring to the table, then people will either rise to meet that standard or they will remove themselves from your life. Either way, you win. Some of the greatest minds in history were doubted, ignored, even ridiculed before the world saw their brilliance. Did that make them any less intelligent? No. What made them successful was their unwavering belief in their own worth. They did not wait for permission to be great. They knew they had something valuable to offer, and they kept pushing forward despite the lack of recognition. But self-worth is an inside job. No relationship, no friendship, no amount of praise from others will ever make up for a lack of self-belief. If you do not see yourself as valuable, no one else will. That is why it is crucial to set boundaries, to walk away from people who do not respect you, and to refuse to lower your standards just to fit in. Because the moment you compromise your worth, you give others permission to do the same. That is not the way to remember what to do in life. Being valued starts with valuing yourself. And sometimes that means standing alone. It means walking away from situations where you are taken for granted. It means choosing to be in solitude rather than in the company of those who do not appreciate you. And that is not weakness, that is strength. Because a person who knows their worth never fears being alone. They understand that true value does not need validation. It simply exists. Being alone is often misunderstood. Society teaches us that being surrounded by people is a sign of success, that having a large circle of friends or constant social interaction means we are doing well in life. But the truth is, solitude is not a sign of weakness. It is an opportunity for growth. Some of the greatest lessons, the most profound self-discoveries, and the strongest foundations of success are built in moments of being alone. When you spend time with yourself, you begin to understand who you truly are. You are not defined by the roles you play in other people's lives. You are more than a friend, a coworker, a sibling, or partner. You are an individual with dreams, thoughts, and values that deserve attention. In the noise of the world, it is easy to lose sight of yourself, to be shaped by the expectations of others, and to forget what you truly want. But solitude gives you the space to reflect, to ask yourself the hard questions. What do I stand for? What do I want out of life? What makes me happy? Many people avoid being alone because they fear silence. They drown themselves in distractions, constantly seeking validation or entertainment, afraid of what they might find if they sit with their own thoughts. But that silence is not empty. It is full of potential. In stillness, your mind clears. Your thoughts become more focused, and you begin to see things with a new perspective. Great ideas are born in solitude. Many of the world's greatest minds, writers, philosophers, scientists, found their brilliance not in the company of others, but in moments of deep introspection. Being alone also allows you to develop self-sufficiency. When you rely too much on the presence or approval of others, you give away your power. But when you learn to enjoy your own company, to make decisions for yourself without validation, and you become stronger. You realize that you do not need constant reassurance to know your worth. You do not need people around you to feel complete. You are already whole on your own. Solitude is also a time for self-improvement. When you are alone, you have the chance to invest in yourself, to read, to learn new skills, to set goals and work towards them without distraction. This is when you build the foundation for success. Many people stay stuck in the same place because they spend too much time keeping up with others instead of focusing on themselves. But those who embrace solitude use that time to grow, and when they step back into the world, they do so with confidence, knowledge, and purpose. Being alone is not something to fear. It is a gift. It is a time to reflect, to grow, to become stronger. The people who truly succeed in life are not the ones who constantly surround themselves with others, but the ones who have taken the time to truly know themselves. And that can only happen in solitude. Toxic relationships are one of the greatest barriers to success, yet many people stay in them out of fear, habit, or misplaced loyalty. Whether it's a friend who constantly puts you down, a partner who doesn't respect you, or a work environment that drains your energy, being surrounded by the wrong people will keep you from reaching your full potential. The company you keep influences your mindset, your decisions, and ultimately your future. If you allow people who do not value you to remain in your life, you risk becoming a version of yourself that is smaller, less confident, and further away from your true purpose. The most dangerous thing about toxic relationships is that they don't always seem harmful at first. Sometimes it's subtle, a dismissive comment here, a lack of support there. Over time, these small acts of disrespect and negativity add up, and before you know it, you've begun to question your worth. You start to settle for less, thinking that this is just how relationships are supposed to be. But the truth is, no relationship, whether it's with a friend, a partner, or even a family member, should make you feel unappreciated, unseen, or disrespected. One of the biggest signs of a toxic relationship is when you feel emotionally drained after spending time with someone. Instead of feeling uplifted, inspired, or supported, you feel exhausted, anxious, or unworthy. These people take more than they give, demand more than they offer, and criticize more than they encourage. They do not celebrate your success. They downplay it or make it about themselves. They do not push you to grow. They keep you in the same place because it makes them feel more comfortable. If you want to succeed in life, you have to be intentional about the people you allow into your space. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, who inspire you, who genuinely want to see you do well. The right people will not belittle your dreams. They will push you to achieve them. They will not make you feel small. They will remind you of your greatness. Letting go of toxic relationships is not easy. It requires strength to walk away, to choose yourself over familiarity, and to trust that better relationships will come. But every time you remove a negative influence from your life, you make room for something greater. The people who truly care about you will never make you feel like you are hard to love, difficult to support, or not worthy of respect. And if someone consistently makes you feel that way, they do not deserve a place in your life. Your time and energy are valuable. Do not waste them on people who do not appreciate you. Life is too short to spin it around those who drain your potential. Walk away from toxic relationships. Stand firm in your worth and surround yourself with those who see, respect, and uplift the real you. Everything you do, every action you take is driven by emotion. It's not logic that moves you. It's the way you feel in the moment. Think about it. Have you ever known exactly what you should do, but you just didn't feel like doing it? Maybe you had a goal to work out, to make that important call, to step up and take action. But when the time came, you felt tired, uncertain, or unmotivated, so you didn't follow through. But unfortunately, it wasn't because you didn't have the ability, it was because of the emotional state you were in at that moment. Your state, your emotional and physiological condition determines the way you think, the way you behave, and ultimately the results you get in life. When you feel powerful, when you feel confident, when you feel unstoppable, you take bold action. You push through challenges, you find solutions. But when you feel drained, doubtful, or fearful, everything feels harder. Even the simplest tasks become overwhelming. And you start making excuses instead of progress. Here's the key. Your emotions don't just happen to you. They are created by three things: what you focus on, the meaning you give to things, and how you use your body. If you learn to control these three forces, you can shift your emotional state instantly. First, focus. Whatever you focus on, you feel. If you focus on what's wrong, on what you don't have, on what's missing in your life, you'll feel frustrated or even hopeless. But if you focus on what you can control, on what you're grateful for, on what's possible, your energy will shift. The fastest way to change your emotions is to change what you're focusing on. Second, meaning. Nothing in life has meaning except the meaning you give it. If something doesn't go your way, you can decide it's a failure, or you can decide it's a lesson, a gift, a stepping stone to something better. The moment you change the meaning, you change the feeling. Third, physiology. Your body is the quickest way to shift your state. Try this. Stand up, shoulders back, breathe deeply, put a huge grin on your face. Feel different? Of course you do. You can't be depressed in a power posture. You can't feel weak when you move with strength. The way you use your body, your posture, your breathing, your movement. The best performers, the most successful people don't wait for motivation to strike. They create it by mastering their state. Before they step into a big moment, they don't sit around hoping they'll feel ready. They demand the state they need. They get their mind focused, they shift their meaning, and they use their body to generate energy. So the next time you catch yourself saying, I just don't feel like it, stop. Change your focus, change your meaning, move your body. Because when you master your emotions, you master your actions. And when you master your actions, you master your life. We don't get what in life, we get what we must have. The difference between people who achieve extraordinary success and those settle for mediocrity isn't talent, intelligence, or even luck. It's the standard they hold for themselves. They refuse to accept in lives. Your standards dictate your results because they define what you consistently demand of yourself. Think about the areas of your life where you excel. Maybe you're always on time. Maybe you never miss a workout. Maybe you always follow through on commitments. Why? Because that's your standard. It's not an option. It's just who you are. Now, think about the areas where you struggle. Maybe your finances are a mess, your health isn't where you want it to be, or your relationships aren't thriving. Because at some level, you've allowed a lower standard in that area. You've accepted things that don't serve you, and as a result, your actions reflect that. If you want to change your life, the fastest way to do it is to raise your standards. When something becomes a must instead of a should, you'll find a way to make it happen. For example, if you say, I should eat healthier, that's a weak commitment. There's room for negotiation, excuses, and inconsistency. But if you say, I must fuel my body with the best foods because my energy, confidence, and life depend on it, everything shifts. Suddenly, you don't need willpower. You've raised your standard, so the right choices become automatic. Look at the most successful people in any field. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. They hold themselves to a higher standard than everyone else. They don't just do the minimum, they demand excellence. And because they set their standards high, they naturally take the actions required to meet them. They don't try to be great. They've made greatness their identity. So ask yourself, what are the standards you've been living by? Are they empowering you or are they keeping you stuck? What have you been tolerating in your life that you know needs to change? The truth is, you are getting exactly what your standards dictate. If you want more, you have to expect more from yourself. One of the best ways to raise your standards is to surround yourself with people who already live at a higher level. If you spend time with people who are committed to health, wealth, and personal growth, their standards will influence you. You'll start to expect more from yourself because it becomes the norm in your environment. At the end of the day, success isn't about setting goals. It's about raising your standards to the level where those goals become inevitable. When you make excellence your new baseline, when you demand more from yourself every single day, success becomes not just possible, but unavoidable. Change your standards and you will change your life. The secret to lasting fulfillment is growth and contribution. No matter how much success you achieve, how much money you make, or how many goals you check off your lists, there will always be a deeper drive inside you, the need to grow and the need to give. These two forces are what make life meaningful. Without them, even the greatest achievements will feel empty. Think about it. Have you ever reached a goal you worked so hard for only to feel a sense of, is this it? Maybe you got the job, the promotion, the dream house, or the recognition you wanted, but after the initial excitement, something still felt missing. That's because success alone doesn't lead to fulfillment. Growth does. When we stop growing, we start dying inside. Progress equals happiness. It's hardwired into us. If you're not improving, learning, and expanding as a person, life starts to feel stagnant. Growth doesn't have to mean massive, dramatic changes. It can be as simple as challenging yourself daily, pushing your limits, learning a new skill, or breaking through old fears. The key is to make progress a way of life, to constantly ask, how can I get better today? Because when you grow, you feel alive. But growth alone isn't enough. The highest level of fulfillment comes when you take what you've gained and give it to others. Contribution is what turns success into something meaningful. It's what makes you feel truly connected to something greater than yourself. The happiest people on earth aren't the ones who have the most. They're the ones who give. Think about a time you helped someone, really made a difference in their life. Maybe you gave advice that changed their perspective, supported them when they needed it most, or simply made them smile. How did that feel? That feeling is deeper and more powerful than any personal achievement because contribution is what makes life rich. When you make growth and contribution your focus, life becomes fulfilling at every level. You wake up with a purpose, knowing that each day is a chance to expand yourself and serve others. It's no longer just about what you can get. It's about who you can become and how you can give. Look at the most extraordinary people in history, those who are remembered, admired, and respected. They weren't just successful. They were people who committed their lives to growth and giving. They mastered their craft, pushed past their limits, and then used their knowledge, resources, and time to lift others up. So ask yourself, how are you growing right now? Where are you challenging yourself, learning and expanding? And just as importantly, how are you contributing? How are you making an impact beyond yourself? Because when you commit to lifelong growth and selfless contribution, you don't just create success, you create a legacy. And that is what leads to true fulfillment. In conclusion, everything we do in life is shaped by the decisions we make based on our focus, our emotions, our beliefs, our standards, and our drive for growth and contribution. You are not a passive observer of life. You are the creator of your own reality. The key to living an extraordinary life is in taking control of these forces and using them to design the life you want, the life you deserve. The journey starts with focusing on what truly matters, what empowers you, and shifting your emotional state to align with your highest vision. You've got to break free from limiting beliefs that hold you back and instead create new beliefs that serve your future. You must raise your standards and demand more from yourself, knowing that you are capable of more than you realize. And most importantly, you must embrace growth and contribution as the ultimate path to fulfillment. Remember, it's not about what you want, it's about what you must have, what you must become. When you set your standards high, when you commit to growth, when you make contribution your purpose, you will start to see massive transformation in your life. This is your time. You have the power to change your state, change your beliefs, raise your standards, and create lasting fulfillment. Take action. Choose to focus on what drives you forward. Take massive action toward your goals and never stop growing and giving. The life you've always dreamed of is within your reach. It's all up to you. Live with passion and make every moment count.